maybe this collective, you should focus on your abundance right now. I feel, because we had abundance in the previous deck, right? And we were talking a bit of a different context of this abundance. But this collective, your focus, we know this already. The past 9 years, your focus would be relationships, whether you accept it or not, whether you're right. So you may be thinking that you had moments that you were focusing on growth, and right, and especially when you were in a relationship, growth, career, abundance. But the moment you lack that relationship, you desperately look for a new one. Maybe we're gonna do tarot as well, but maybe they're wanting you to really stop making your life about relationships. It's just the reason I said what I said in previous part, that life is not just about that, far from it, but focus on self-discovery. I feel that the guidance for this collective is to be, I don't feel, I'm gonna say this honestly, because we're doing 9-year cycle, we're closing 9-year cycle and we're opening a new 9-year cycle. If you don't want to repeat that cycle and you want to progress, they're not going to allow you to walk through this door if you're not on your own. So if there's someone right now that you're connecting to, you're right, because they're wanting you to really watch the whole thing so it makes sense. You have to start to love yourself. You have to sharpen your intuition. You're coming from a place of fear. You're coming from a place of lack. There's something as well about this collective about loyalty, because Fox is about loyalty. It's a beautiful card. It's that perfect mate, right? It's the mate that they're showing me this phrase. You shouldn't be, how it goes, that you shouldn't be seeking for a perfect relationship, for a perfect partner. You should become it. So there's something within you that you crave, loyalty, you crave that forever after, you crave family energy, partnership. But are you? Maybe there's certain things within you that you need to course correct as well when it comes to how you show up in a relationship, what you give in a relationship. And I say this to you guys often, and it's a harsh truth to accept, but many times we go through relationships, we go through, betrayal and heartbreak, and, people around us, they say to us, you deserve better, you deserve the best. But do you? Life is not about deserving. Life is about attracting who you are, right? I always say this to you guys. You don't attract what you want, what you deserve, what you wish for, what you pray for, what you manifest. You attract the vibration of you, who you are, right? So oftentimes we say to people, oh, it's like all our friends and all people around, when they go for breakup, they deserve the best. But do they really? How do you show up in a relationship? What do you give? Your heart is still locked. You don't fully give yourself. Again, watch the previous part. We went through this. You want true love. You want forever love. But you don't love yourself. What do I always say to you guys? If you don't love yourself, no one ever will. And it's a concept I often explain to you guys because it's, again, deeply misunderstood. And a while ago, I've seen this man on internet, and he said, if you don't love yourself, no one will. It's a lie, because I don't love myself and my partner loves me. Listen, if you don't love yourself, okay, and you are with a partner that loves you, rest assured, this is a wounded person as well. Because if you don't love yourself, you will never truly believe to your very core that someone loves you. And if you don't believe, you won't let them love you, because subconsciously you don't feel that you're worthy of love. To really experience a love of another person, it's those two lone wolves that I've explained to you guys. We have to love ourselves, to believe that they love us, to feel that love fully, to understand. It's like speaking a different language, right? So Can you talk with someone that speaks a different language? Yeah, you like show something with your sign and maybe learn singular words, but it's not going to be full communication and a full flow because you don't understand what they're saying. And if someone loves you despite the fact that you don't love yourself, that you don't have self-respect, that you don't have boundaries, that you don't see your worth and you don't see your value, it's because they're wounded. They have this need to give something to someone without realizing that it's coming from a place of lack within themselves. It's impossible, and that statement is true. Not to mention that if you're saying this, I don't love myself, but my partner does, it means that you're not creating an equal relationship. It's a wounded codependency. If you don't understand that, I don't know how else I could explain this to you. You crave a beautiful love, you crave a beautiful relationship, but what you're refusing to do is to go through a process of full transformation on your own, to become the person that would be a perfect partner. Again, it's a choice we all make, right? And I always say this to you guys, if you want to reach your highest, most abundant timeline, your ultimate partner, your higher soulmate, life of fulfillment and love, it is a bit of like gambling, because in order to get there, you have to focus on your transformation and say, I don't care if I don't get there. Who I am is enough. Me, myself, and I. That's the only way you can get there. If you're not willing to accept that it's going to be just you until the end of your days, I've explained this to you guys already. It means you don't love yourself. And if you don't love yourself, you're not going to make candle just went crazy. You're not going to attract true love. I feel with that hawk as well, I feel you are lacking. You're very lost, this collective. You're lacking perspective. You would be very changing, right? So you would go, if you look at those last 9 years, you're probably repeating the same pattern again. You are with someone, it feels like this is it, this is the person, the love of all my lifetimes. Then you enter this relationship from a 0 to 100. You're probably someone that you like to talk about this relationship. So maybe, like display it on social media, or if not on social media, tell your friends how your partner is. You create a visual of your partner in your mind that is not necessarily always true. You would not see red flags, you would not see certain signs and synchronicities properly that they're trying to show you. You jump into that relationship, then that relationship lasts what it needs to last, you finally leave it, and you leave it with a bitter heart, saying that love is cruel, love is pain, love hurts, now you're going to go into hermit to learn your lessons. But then they show you another person and boom, there you are in love again. And you feel like you've changed because you're approaching this person differently, right? But all you do is locking your heart more and more. You think you're being smarter because now you're more cautious, because now you don't do certain things with this person, now you act differently, but your heart is locked. You go like this, you're unable to see the big picture and the small picture. You're not unable to like focus and be focused on certain things when it's needed. You're not seeing lessons properly. You think they send you someone because it's destined, but it's another karmic lesson. They're wanting you to break a pattern. I'm going to do one more row, and then we're going to do tarot. The crow. The crow and the owl, right? We're doing the shadows that you need to break, The crow and the owl are about seeing things clearly. The intuition, the third eye, the gut feeling, they're almost psychic, right? So I feel that in your heart, as you meet those new people, there's something within you that knows, deep down you know. But the longing for love, for relationship, for happiness, it's too strong. So you ignore your intuition. You ignore the signs. Hold on. The dragon. The dragon is the solar plexus. Again, we're doing shadows. Unhealed, unbalanced solar plexus. This is where our codependency lives. This collective, you would be creating codependent relationships, and it's again, it's topic that is deeply misunderstood. Maybe I should chat about this a little bit on my stories today. It's a topic that is deeply misunderstood because people think that if it's codependent, when you realize it's codependent, they rarely realize it because they don't really understand what it means. It's because it's not a good relationship, right? It's a complex thing. Go back to what I said in previous part about the lone wolves. Okay, the lone wolf dynamic is a relationship that is not codependent. I love myself, me, myself, and I, even if it is till the end of my days, right? I'm good on my own. And then you find the same person who vibrate on the same frequency, love themselves, me, myself, and I, whether that's for a friendship or for a relationship. So you start to vibrate next to each other and create a beautiful bond. And if this person goes through something, they can lean on you, right? You can be there for them, but it doesn't change your path. It doesn't change your mood. It doesn't change your emotions. You know your path. If you know that the right thing for you or this person is to drift away from each other. So for example, again, whether that's relationship or friendship, is to travel to another country, is to focus on something else, then your relationship is to not see each other for a certain amount of time. You let that go because you know that you're soul family. You're going to always be connected on some level. You're always going to find a way to have that relationship. You're not clingy. If you're clingy, it's because you feel that a part of you belongs to this person, and without them you lose something of value, which is not true. It only means that you don't see your own value properly. And sometimes I've spoke about this in my, if you go to my YouTube, there's a energy healing playlist and there's a video about every chakra. And then the solar plexus one I've mentioned is that oftentimes we have great relationships with people who are beautiful, both beautiful people, but they're still codependent because the mood and what happens in the life of this person, we take it personally, it affects us, it's right, and it means that there's codependency. We'll chat about this. So if it resonates, go ahead and check my stories. But it's important for this collective. You would need to let that go, to really understand codependency. Loyalty shouldn't come from the fact that you feel obligated to feel loyal to someone, right? It should come from really wanting and naturally wanting to be loyal to someone. Cheetah, the chaser. The chaser, on top of that butterfly, it's something you cannot transform. You're still chasing things, whether you want to accept it or not. You're chasing things, you're wanting things, you're pursuing things that you're afraid that you're not going to find them in life. And we have the shark. The shark is the truth. I feel this is in this context is that you would know this is collective. They would be sending you signs and synchronicities. They would be helping you to see the red flags in situations and in people. The truth is out there. It's just like you're refusing to, like where, and they're showing me this moment, like when we're watching a movie and something drastic is happening. It's like we're closing our eyes because we don't want to see it, but we know it's there. We know it's happening. It's like, you know all this, everything that I said to you in this reading, this. Just like you're still keeping your eyes closed because you're afraid. You have to stop chasing. Go into hermit. Focus on you. Allow the transformation to happen. Turn into a perfect partner. Release codependency. Trust your gut. Trust your instincts. See the signs for what they are. See the lessons for what they are. They'll make things fit in life. See it for what it is. Accept them for what they are. When it's a karmic lesson, it's a karmic lesson. It ain't a soulmate destined twin flame or whatever nonsense, you're inventing to make it fit into your life. The truth is the truth. And deep down, you know it. Let's confirm in tarot. What do we need to break here to properly go into the next cycle. Seven of Cups. I knew it would come out. I was seeing the Knight of Wands. I just didn't want to say it out loud. It's remember what we said in first part? It's this passion. It's this you would have a wounding around this. You would have a wounding around this. You want to be passionate. You want to be seen as the passionate person that right? Complete misunderstanding of passion. Knight of Wands, Queen of Swords, the Emperor, and Page of Pentacles. This collective, whether you know it or not, okay? Whether you know it or not, first thing is that you are confused in life. You don't fully know and understand who you are, what you want, what you seek for. There's this energy of chaos in your energetic field, right? Again, peace is not something that is physical. You can have something that to an outside observer seem like a very peaceful life, but there's a chaos within you, within the emotion. They're showing me black and white, in and out, undecisiveness. You say something one day and then it changes. There's no firmness of you, of your truth, of your character, of who you are. You follow passions because you would associate that energy with youthfulness, with my candle just went crazy. So maybe it's that. Maybe you feel that life has to have passion. Maybe you want people to see you as this passionate person that loves deeply, and you would be very intense, this collective, whether you realize it or not, in how you express yourself. There's a need for validation as well within you. And another thing I wanted to say, whether you know it or not, and whether you're a female or a male, you are sitting in your masculine energy, in your distorted masculine energy. You're chasing, you're pursuing, you think you're taking things into your own hands, but in reality, it's because the feminine within you, it's completely locked away. The heart is locked away, the receptiveness is locked away, the trust is locked away, the intuition is locked away. You're afraid to build your life slowly because you live in an intense way. There's something within you, there's a shadow within you that is making you feel that doing things slowly is maybe boring or of old people. There's this obsession, is maybe you think about this because I'm hearing it, that there may be an obsession with this collective of getting old. Maybe you fear getting older. Maybe you fear that certain things will pass you by, that you won't be able to experience them as life will pass you by, that old people are boring. This is why you want this passion. This is what you want. Do you know what I mean? You would know all these things. Queen of Wands. I wouldn't be surprised if you're a fire sign. Two of Swords, another card of confusion. Let me do two more. Four of Swords. It's again this energy of you think you're moving forth with with charisma, with passion, with wanting what you want, but all you do is prolong things for yourself. Energetically, as an expansion of a soul, you're still. You're not moving. You're on a, they're showing me a bus stop. It's an illusion of movement that you're creating, because you creating that chaos, passion, right, intensity. It creates an illusion of movement within you, but inside, energetically, you're not actually growing. You're just going in circles, right? It's a healing is a spiral, right? We go back to certain things, we repeat certain things, but it's important when we expand. We have to expand. We expand our consciousness, we expand our mindset, we expand our horizons, we expand as a person. So every time when the spiral turns, even when we go through something that seems like it's similar, right? We do it differently. In that experience, it's what I said to you guys. They bring you the next person not because it's destined. They want you to do it differently. They want you to break a pattern. This is how we expand, right? And when you go to the same thing and you keep doing the same things, you're like hamster on a wheel. You're just repeating that. It seems like you're moving, like the hamster is moving. Look at me moving. Look at me all going, all passionate about this wheel. But you're not moving. You're standing still. One more, and we'll chat. Six of Pentacles. There's something here as well about Six of Wands at the bottom of the deck. My candle went crazy again. You would have a lot of passion within you. It's. I feel like this collective. Journey of a Knight of King of Wands, not understanding passion properly, not being able to tame your own passion, so it burns you. Fire is a dangerous element when you don't know how to play with it. There's a lot of fire within you. You have Knight of Wands, you have Queen of Wands, you have this internal fire, internal passion, but you don't know how to focus it. You don't know how to manage it. You don't know how to, right? So all you do is, even look at this. I'm looking at this like wheel of fire that she's jumping through. It's repeating that wheel of fire. I'm hearing that song. Oh, I'm hearing the song. Into the fire, burn, burn, burn. Johnny Cash, is it? Do you know that song? Maybe you like Johnny Cash. Maybe you should listen to that song. But it's karmic wheel. All your experiences as they happening, you feel this is destined wheel. It is destined wheel because karmic experiences, they also have to happen and they're destined. But I feel at this point, this collective, you're ready to break this pattern. You've received enough lessons, right? You've received enough lessons on that repetitive cycle to be able to break the pattern and grow and start expanding. Start expanding. You don't know who you are. You don't know where you're going. You're confused. You're not seeing many lessons as they are. And there's something, I feel the reason you jump into things, and I look at the Page of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles, because there's something within you, without you knowing, that would be very deeply subconscious. You don't feel good enough to receive, to have someone. Remember what I said? If you're not willing to say to someone, right now I want to be on my own, but I feel like we have a connection, maybe we could explore it as a friendship for the next 6, 8, 12 months and see where things go. If this is really your soulmate from your highest, most abundant timeline, they will be okay with that. They will also, they won't go to a different relationship. They won't pass you by. There is something within you that is not able to put you in this state of receiving, right? So you constantly want to give. So you in relationships, you would feel like when someone is with you, you have to give them something. You have to give them a lot. You it's sometimes happen as well, unfortunately, when people are wounded with intimacy. especially these days when we live in this crazy distorted world, that you feel like because someone is spending time with you, is dedicating their energy and their time, it's like you owe them intimacy. We don't owe each other nothing. These things are rewards when we move forth in a relationship. Someone who is truly matured, who is truly your soulmate, who will be able to give you a long-lasting, unconditional love, they will never push you into intimacy. If you won't be ready in 6 months, in 12 months, they won't push you to it, because they understand that it's something that is gained. You don't own anything, nothing. It's like you feel like you owe whoever spends time with you, that you have to dedicate yourself, right? And that keeps you stuck in relationship, because if you have that mindset and you don't feel like you deserve to receive things, when the moment comes you start seeing red flags, you're going to feel like we've been so long together, they dedicated it, now I owe them something. I owe them to give it a try. I owe them to continue with this relationship, though deep down I know it's not gonna work out. All right, my angels, I feel you have everything you need. If you truly want to close that cycle and open a new one, you know how to do it. This was a really in-depth sort of reading. I will be posting in the next weeks. I'm not sure when exactly. Maybe next week I'll manage to do that, because I promised you guys to do that shadow work exercises for that 9-year cycle, to properly close that 9-year cycle. So if you're interested, stay tuned for that. And yeah, maybe I'll find some time today to chat a little bit more about that codependency on my stories. I love you so incredibly much. You got this. You can do this. You can release yourself from the repetitive hamster wheel and start expanding.